Have you ever had the feeling that your real life is happening in another room? You can hear it, faintly, the sound of laughter, of conversation, of music playing. You can almost feel the warmth and light spilling from under the door, but you are sitting just outside, in a quiet, sterile hallway, waiting patiently for your name to be called, waiting for an invitation, waiting for someone to finally open the door and say, "We're ready for you now. You can come in." This quiet ache of waiting, this sense of being perpetually on the verge of your own existence, is one of the most profound and common pains of the human heart. What if the door was never locked? What if the invitation was sent the moment you were born, and you've simply been sitting with it in your pocket all this time, unopened? Tonight, as you settle into the safety and stillness of your bed, we are going to explore this feeling together. We will walk out of that waiting room, not by forcing the door, but by realizing the only permission you ever needed was your own. As you begin to relax, allow your body to grow heavy and soft. And as you settle in, perhaps in the quiet of a late night, with the world outside finally hushed, or maybe in the deep stillness of the early morning hours, when sleep hasn't yet come to claim you, just take a moment to feel this space, to feel the shared silence that connects you with others, listening just like you, all around the world. In this quiet, a common understanding flows between us, a shared human experience of hoping and dreaming, and sometimes waiting. Know that this time, right now, is entirely yours. It is a sanctuary carved out of the day, just for you. There's nothing to do, nothing to achieve. Your only task is to rest, to breathe, and to listen. This feeling of waiting is not a sign of failure. It is not a flaw in your character. It is a deeply ingrained pattern, often learned in childhood as a way to stay safe, to earn approval, or to avoid making a mistake. We learn to wait for the right moment. We wait until we feel ready. We wait until we are more qualified, more healed, more worthy. We wait for a sign from the universe, for a green light from some invisible authority that we believe holds the key to our lives. And so we sit. We prepare. We plan. We rehearse. We imagine the life we want to live with beautiful, intricate detail. We gather more knowledge. We take another course. We read another book, always with the belief that one more piece of preparation will finally make us deserving of entry. But think about the energy it takes to wait. It is not a passive state. It is an active state of holding back. It is the constant, low-level tension of a runner at the starting line, muscles coiled, waiting for a starting gun that never fires. It is the exhaustion of holding your breath, waiting for the perfect moment to exhale. This constant state of readiness, of being almost, is profoundly tiring. It drains our life force, our creativity, our joy. The life we hear through the door begins to sound more and more distant, the laughter more and more like a language we no longer speak. The quiet ache of waiting settles into our bones, becoming so familiar that we mistake it for a part of who we are. We might even begin to believe that the waiting room is where we belong. But tonight, we can begin to see it differently. We can look at this pattern with kindness and curiosity, not with judgment. We can start to understand its origins, to thank it for how it tried to protect us, and to gently let it know that its services are no longer required. The waiting has served a purpose. It has perhaps given you time to reflect, to gather wisdom, to understand yourself on a deeper level. The stillness has not been empty. It has been a period of quiet incubation, but the time for incubation is ending. A new season is ready to begin. As you listen to my voice, feel a sense of gentle permission washing over you. Permission to stop holding yourself in this state of suspension. Permission to let your shoulders drop, to let your jaw unclench, to let out that breath you've been holding for so long. You don't need to do anything dramatic. You don't need to stand up and kick down the door. The first step is simply to acknowledge the room itself, to see the chairs you've been sitting on, to feel the cool, still air, and to recognize, perhaps for the first time, that you are the one who chose to sit here. This recognition is not a cause for blame, but a moment of profound empowerment. Because if you had the power to sit down and wait, you also have the power to stand up and walk. The journey out of the waiting room is a gentle one. It is a process of unlearning the habit of asking for permission to exist fully. It is the practice of turning your attention away from the closed door and turning it inward, toward the life that is already beating in your chest, the desires that are already whispering in your heart, the wisdom that is already settled in your soul. That is the life that is waiting for you, not in some other room, behind some locked door, but right here, right now, inside of you. All it asks is that you stop waiting for an invitation and begin to listen to its music. Over the course of our time together, we will explore the sounds and feelings of this metaphorical room. We will name the invisible authorities we have been answering to. We will honor the strength and resilience it took to wait so patiently for so long. And step by step, breath by breath, we will find the keys that were in our own hands all along. We will write our own permission slip, not with ink and paper, but with a deep, resonant knowing in our very cells that our worthiness is not a destination to be reached, but our fundamental starting point. For now, just allow this idea to settle around you like a warm blanket. The waiting can end, the door can open, and your life is not somewhere else. It is right here, waiting patiently for you. Just rest now. There is nothing else to do. Let the quiet ache begin to soften, replaced by a gentle, hopeful peace. Allow the rhythm of your breath to be the only thing that matters. Inhaling calm, exhaling the long, long wait. Every breath is a quiet declaration that you are present, that you are here, and that you are ready to begin. Not someday, but now. In the gentle unfolding of this present moment, rest deeply. A profound healing is already underway. Let's stay with this image for a little while, shall we? Without any pressure to change it or run from it, just allow your mind to gently bring this waiting room into focus. See it not as a real place of bricks and mortar, but as a space you have built within yourself, a place of suspended animation. Take a moment to notice the details. What does it feel like to be here? Feel the air on your skin. It's still, isn't it? It's climate controlled, neutral. There's no breeze, no scent of rain or sun-warmed earth. It's the air of a place cut off from the living, breathing world. It doesn't challenge you, but it doesn't nourish you either. It simply is. And the light, it's a flat, even light. Not the warm, golden light of late afternoon, nor the soft, blue light of dawn. It's a functional light, designed to keep things clear, to prevent shadows, to eliminate mystery. It's the light of perpetual daytime inside a building with no windows. Now turn your attention to the sounds. The most prominent sound is a kind of hum, the low, constant drone of machinery, of systems running in the background. It's a sound you've become so accustomed to that you barely notice it anymore. But beneath it, if you listen with your whole being, you can hear something else. Faintly, through the thick, solid door in front of you, you can hear the muffled sounds of the life you've been putting on hold. It's a symphony of experiences you've told yourself you're not yet ready for. There is the sound of easy, uninhibited laughter, the warm murmur of intimate conversation, the clinking of glasses in a toast, and a song, a beautiful, vibrant melody that you can't quite make out, but your heart recognizes the feeling behind it. It's the sound of joy, of connection, of risk, of aliveness. This is the sound of a life unlived. And sitting here, in the sterile quiet, hearing that music can be a source of quiet agony. Allow yourself, just for a moment, to acknowledge the frustration of it, the deep, quiet ache of being perpetually on the verge. It's the feeling of having a winning lottery ticket in your pocket, but never cashing it in. It's the feeling of standing on the edge of a beautiful, clear lake on a hot day, fully dressed, just watching others swim. There's a quiet anger that can bubble up here, a silent scream of, when is it my turn? There's a profound sadness, a grief for the moments, the years, the experiences that have passed by while you have been sitting here, preparing. Let yourself feel it. Don't push it away. This feeling is not your enemy. It is a signpost. It is the part of you that loves life, the part of you that is desperate to participate, making its voice heard. It is the truest part of you, refusing to fall completely asleep. And notice the exhaustion. Feel it in your body. It is a unique kind of tiredness, isn't it? It's not the satisfying fatigue that comes after a long hike or a day of creative work. It's the heavy, draining exhaustion of holding back. The immense energy it takes to constantly suppress your impulses, to hold your tongue, to rein in your spirit. It's the weariness that comes from endlessly preparing for a race you never run. Look around this inner waiting room. What have you filled it with? Perhaps there are stacks of books on self-improvement, meticulously written plans and to-do lists, diplomas and certificates that were meant to be your ticket in. You have become an expert on how to live, a scholar of readiness. This habit of preparation is so seductive because it feels like action. It feels productive. It keeps you busy enough that you don't have to face the terrifying simplicity of just opening the door and walking through it. The core belief that furnishes this entire room, the very foundation upon which it is built, is the quiet, pervasive thought, I am not ready yet. Maybe it's, I am not healed enough yet, or I am not confident enough yet, or I am not worthy enough yet. Whatever the specific words, the feeling is the same. It is the belief that who you are, right now, in this very moment, is insufficient, that you are a project to be completed, and only when you are finished will you be qualified to live. This belief is not your fault. It was likely given to you long ago, whispered to you by a world that profits from our sense of inadequacy. But it has become a familiar presence, a trusted advisor who counsels caution and more preparation. For tonight, your only task is to witness this, to sit here in your mind, in this room you have created, and simply see it for what it is. See the stale air, the flat light, the neat rows of chairs. Hear the muffled music of a life that is calling to you. Feel the deep, soul-level exhaustion of waiting. Acknowledge the endless stacks of preparations, and gently, lovingly, witness the belief that you are not yet ready. By simply observing this space without judgment, you are already beginning to change your relationship to it. You are moving from being a passive occupant to being a conscious observer. And from that place of gentle awareness, everything can begin to shift. The light can begin to change. The air can begin to stir. And the door, which once seemed so heavy and imposing, might just begin to look like a simple, ordinary door. One that you can approach whenever you choose. For now, just let this awareness sink into you as you drift. There is nothing to solve. Just see. Just acknowledge. Just rest. Your courage in looking at this is immense, and it is the first, most important step toward walking free. As you rest here in this state of gentle awareness, let's ask a very quiet, very simple question. It's a question we rarely stop to ask because the answer seems so obvious, so assumed. The question is this: who are you waiting for? When you sit in this metaphorical room, listening to the life happening on the other side of the door, who do you imagine is the one who will finally open it? Who is the authority figure you believe must grant you permission to enter? Let your mind drift on this question without forcing an answer. Just see what images, or feelings, or voices emerge from the quiet. For many of us, this invisible authority is a composite character, a figure cobbled together from the ghosts of our past. Perhaps it's the voice of a parent or a teacher from long ago. A voice that praised you for being good, for being quiet, for not making a fuss, for waiting your turn. A voice that subtly taught you that your own desires were secondary, that the right thing to do was to wait for an adult to tell you what was next. This voice may have been well-intentioned, designed to keep you safe and to help you fit into the structures of family or school. But it became internalized, a permanent gatekeeper in your psyche, long after you stopped being a child. And so, you still wait, a grown person, for a parental nod of approval that may never come, or that you no longer even need. Or perhaps the authority you're waiting for is more cultural. It's the faceless they, the ones who set the standards. You're waiting for them to decide that you have achieved enough, that you are successful enough, that your body is the right shape, that your life looks the right way. You're waiting for the approval of a society that constantly moves the goalposts, a culture that whispers, "You're almost there. Just buy this one more thing. Achieve this one more milestone, and then you'll be worthy." This authority is particularly insidious because it's everywhere and nowhere at once. It's in the magazines, the advertisements, the curated lives on social media. It creates a pervasive sense that everyone else has received their invitation, that they are all at the party, and you are the only one left in the hallway. But there is another, perhaps more powerful authority that we wait for. And this one is the most subtle of all. We are waiting for an idealized version of ourselves. We are waiting for the future you to arrive, the you that is finally healed, the you that is perfectly confident, the you that never makes mistakes, that is wise and serene and has all the answers. You have put this future version of yourself on a pedestal, and you have decided that only this perfect you is qualified to live your life. The current you, the one lying here breathing, is just an understudy, rehearsing. The current you is flawed, messy, and not yet ready for the main stage. And so you spend your days trying to become this other person, this flawless being, believing that once you arrive, the door to your life will finally swing open. You are waiting for permission from a version of yourself that does not exist, a phantom, a ghost you are chasing. This is the ultimate waiting game, because the finish line is a mirage that recedes as you approach it. There will always be one more flaw to fix, one more wound to heal, one more piece of knowledge to acquire. The profound truth that we can begin to allow into our hearts tonight is that this authority, in all its forms, the parental voice, the cultural they, the idealized future self, is not a real entity. It does not exist outside of your own mind. It is a story. It is a powerful, compelling, and deeply ingrained story that you have been telling yourself for so long that you have forgotten you are the author. You have built a gatekeeper out of memories, fears, and cultural myths, and you have stationed it at the door of your own life. You have given it the keys. You have given it all the power, and you have made its approval the central condition for your own happiness. Think about it this way. Imagine you wrote a character into a book, a very stern and imposing guard, and then you started to believe the character was real, and you began to obey its commands, forgetting that you could, at any moment, write it out of the story. Or you could write a new scene where the guard smiles, hands you the keys, and wishes you well on your journey. You have that power. This is not about blaming yourself for creating this story. It is about gently, lovingly, recognizing your own power as the storyteller. You created this authority figure to keep you safe, to help you make sense of the world, to give you a set of rules to follow when you felt lost. It was a brilliant strategy, but its purpose has been served. The story is now limiting you. The guard you created to protect a small, vulnerable part of you is now keeping the whole of you from living. As you drift deeper into relaxation, just let this awareness settle. You don't need to fight this invisible authority. You don't need to argue with it or banish it. The first step is simply to see it, to name it, to recognize it not as a powerful external force, but as an internal pattern of thought, a habit of mind. When you feel that familiar hesitation, that sense of, I can't, yet you can begin to say to yourself, there is the story again. There is the voice of the guard I created. By naming it, you create a little bit of space between you and it. You start to see that it is not you. It is a part of you, a character you are playing, but it is not the whole truth of who you are. The whole truth is infinitely larger, wiser, and more free. And in that space, in that quiet gap between the storyteller and the story, a new possibility is born. The possibility that you don't need a gatekeeper at all. Rest in that space now. The quiet, peaceful space of knowing you are the author. Now that we have gently named this invisible authority, this gatekeeper at the door of your life, let's turn towards it, not with anger or a desire to banish it, but with a deep and gentle understanding. Let's ask another quiet question. Why did you learn to wait? This pattern of holding back, of seeking permission before you act, is not a mistake. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a highly intelligent strategy for safety that you developed, likely at a very young age, to navigate a complex and often unpredictable world. And it deserves our respect. Think back to a time when you were small. The world was a vast and confusing place, filled with rules you didn't understand and dangers you couldn't foresee. Your survival and well-being depended entirely on the approval and protection of the larger, more powerful people around you. In that environment, learning to wait was a brilliant adaptation. You learned that if you waited for a parent's signal, you would be kept safe from harm. If you waited for a teacher's permission, you would be praised and rewarded. If you waited your turn, you avoided conflict with siblings or other children. Waiting became synonymous with being good. Action, on the other hand, was often risky. Acting on your own impulse could lead to a scraped knee, a broken vase, or worse, the disapproval of a caregiver. A sharp word, a disappointed look, a punishment. These were deeply painful experiences for a sensitive child whose whole world revolved around connection and belonging. So you learned. You learned that spontaneity could be dangerous. You learned that your inner urges were not always to be trusted. You learned that the safest path was to pause, look for external cues, and wait for the green light from someone else. This wasn't a conscious decision. It was a deep, instinctual learning that became embedded in your nervous system. Waiting equals safety. Spontaneous action equals risk. As you grew older, this strategy continued to serve you in different ways. In the structured world of school, waiting to be called on, following instructions precisely, and preparing diligently for tests were the keys to success. You were rewarded not for bold, creative leaps, but for careful, measured conformity. In your early career, perhaps you learned that it was wiser to keep your head down, observe the hierarchy, and wait for a promotion rather than challenging the status quo. In relationships, you might have learned that holding back your true feelings, waiting for the other person to go first, was a way to avoid rejection or vulnerability. In every area of your life, the strategy of waiting proved its worth. It helped you avoid criticism. It shielded you from the sting of failure. It protected you from the sharp edges of disappointment. It was, in essence, a suit of armor that you carefully crafted to move through the world with as little pain as possible. And so, we must validate this part of you. The part that chose to wait was not trying to sabotage your life. It was not trying to keep you small. It was trying to protect you. It was the wisest, most resourceful part of you at the time, doing the very best it could with the information and experiences it had. It became your loyal guardian, your ever-vigilant protector. Its primary mission was your survival and emotional safety, and it has done a remarkable job. You are here now, listening to this, which means the strategy worked. It got you through. So, as you lie here, breathing softly, see if you can feel a sense of gratitude for this waiting part of you. You can even give it a name if you like. The protector, the guardian, the watcher. And in the quiet of your mind, you can offer it a message. Something like, "Thank you. I see how hard you have worked to keep me safe all these years. I understand that every time you made me wait, every time you held me back, you were doing it from a place of love and a deep desire to protect me from pain. You have been incredibly loyal, and I am so grateful for your service." Feel the sincerity of this message. This is not a trick to get the guardian to step aside. It is a genuine acknowledgement of its role and its positive intention. When we fight against these protective parts of ourselves, they just dig in their heels and hold on tighter. But when we meet them with understanding and appreciation, they can begin to relax. They can begin to see that the landscape has changed. The world of a child is very different from the world of an adult. The dangers you face now are no longer the same. While the old strategy of waiting kept you safe from external threats and disapproval, it is now creating a different kind of pain, the internal pain of a life unlived. The armor that once protected you has become a cage that is limiting you. The guardian who kept you safe in the past doesn't realize that you are now strong enough, resilient enough, and wise enough to handle the risks of living more fully. You can handle failure. You can survive criticism. You can navigate disappointment. These experiences are no longer threats to your fundamental survival. They are simply part of the rich, messy, beautiful texture of a full life. Your instinct to wait came from a place of wanting to protect yourself, and you can thank it for its service. By doing this, you are not dismissing it. You are honoring it. You are beginning a new, more collaborative relationship with this part of yourself. You are gently letting it know that you are the adult in charge now. And while you will always value its input and its concern for your safety, you will be the one to decide when it is time to open the door. Rest with this feeling of inner harmony, the feeling of no longer being at war with yourself, the peace that comes from understanding that every part of you, even the parts that seem to be holding you back, have always been trying to help. Rest in that self-compassion. It is the soil from which all true and lasting change grows. Now that we have thanked the part of you that learned to wait as a form of protection, let's look at this period of stillness from another angle. It's easy to label this time as wasted, to see the years spent in the waiting room as a loss. But what if that's not the whole story? What if, within that stillness, you were cultivating strengths you didn't even realize you had? Consider for a moment the immense patience it requires to wait, not for a few minutes in a line, but for months, years, even decades, for your real life to begin. This is not a passive, lazy state. It is an active, disciplined form of holding on. It requires a profound capacity for endurance. You have sat with the discomfort of your own unexpressed potential, with the ache of longing, and you have not given up. You have continued to show up day after day in that quiet room, believing on some level that your moment would eventually come. This is a testament to your resilience. Many people, faced with such a long delay, would simply walk away, abandoning their hopes entirely. But you didn't. You stayed. You waited. There is a quiet, powerful strength in that kind of perseverance. And think about the hope that is required. To wait for something, you must believe it is worth waiting for. Buried beneath the frustration and the exhaustion is a seed of pure, undiluted hope. A belief that the life you can hear on the other side of the door is real, that it is beautiful, and that it is meant for you. You have kept this flame of hope alive in a place with very little light or warmth to sustain it. You have tended to it with your dreams, your plans, your preparations. This is an act of profound faith. You have shown incredible resilience simply by holding on to hope in the quiet. This hope is not a weakness. It is a superpower. It is the fuel that has kept your spirit from being completely extinguished. It is a precious resource that you have cultivated, and it will serve you powerfully when you decide it's time to step forward. Let's reframe this period of waiting. What if it wasn't wasted time at all? What if it was a deep, reflective pause? A kind of extended retreat or apprenticeship? In the quiet of that room, free from the noise and distraction of constant action, what wisdom have you gathered? Perhaps you have become a keen observer of life, watching from the sidelines, noticing details that those in the midst of the action might miss. You have had time to understand human nature, to see patterns in yourself and others. You have had time to think, to read, to learn. The stacks of books and plans in your waiting room are not just evidence of procrastination. They are evidence of a deep and abiding curiosity. You have been gathering intelligence, mapping the terrain, preparing yourself in ways you may not even consciously recognize. Think of it like a master archer. They don't just grab an arrow and shoot. There is a long period of stillness. They draw the bowstring back, slowly, deliberately. All their energy is gathered, focused, and held in a state of immense potential. From the outside, it might look like nothing is happening. But in that moment of held tension, everything is happening. The aim is being perfected. The breath is being controlled. The connection between the archer, the bow, and the target is being forged. The waiting, the drawing back, is what gives the arrow its power and its direction. What if your time in the waiting room has been you, drawing back the bow? You have been gathering your strength, clarifying your intention, deepening your wisdom. You haven't been wasting time. You have been accumulating potential energy. And when you are ready to release, your flight will be truer and more powerful than it ever could have been if you had just shot impulsively from the beginning. Or consider the analogy of a seed planted in the earth. For a long time, it seems as though nothing is happening. There's only darkness, stillness, and silence. Above ground, the world continues on, with seasons changing and other plants growing and flowering. It would be easy to look at that patch of earth and think the seed has failed, that the time is being wasted. But beneath the surface, a miracle is unfolding. Roots are growing, pushing down into the soil, creating a foundation of stability and nourishment. The life force within the seed is gathering, organizing, preparing for its emergence. This quiet, unseen work is the most critical part of its journey. Without this period in the dark, it would never have the strength to break through the soil and reach for the sun. Your time in waiting has been your time in the dark earth. You have been growing roots. You have been building an inner foundation of wisdom, patience, and resilience that will support you for the rest of your life. The experiences you have postponed have not vanished. They have been composting, enriching the soil of your being. So as you rest here tonight, see if you can let go of the story of wasted time. Let go of the self-criticism and regret. Instead, see if you can honor the strength in your stillness. Honor the patience, the hope, the resilience. Acknowledge the deep, quiet work that has been happening beneath the surface. You are not coming to your life empty-handed. You are not starting from scratch. You are emerging from this period with a depth of character and a quiet wisdom that can only be cultivated in the silence. You have been in training. You have been in deep preparation, not just of plans and knowledge, but of your very soul. You are more ready now than you have ever been, not because you have finally fixed all your flaws, but because you have endured the quiet and discovered the strength that lies within it. Let this new perspective settle into your body. Feel the truth of it. You are not damaged or delayed. You are deep-rooted. You are powerful. You are an archer with a fully drawn bow, ready to let fly. As this new, more compassionate perspective settles in, honoring the strength you've cultivated in your stillness, it's natural for another feeling to arise. It is the quiet, tender feeling of grief. Grief for the experiences you postponed. Grief for the laughter you only heard through a door. Grief for the years you spent believing you weren't ready. This is a valid and necessary part of the journey. To truly leave the waiting room behind, we must first allow ourselves to feel the full weight of our time there. We cannot bypass this step, for true release only comes after we have fully acknowledged what we are letting go of. So tonight, in the safety and privacy of your own being, let's create a space to gently touch this grief without judgment and without being overwhelmed. Imagine that your heart is a vast, open landscape under a wide sky, and the feeling of regret, of sadness for lost time, is like a cloud formation gathering on the horizon. For so long, you may have been bracing against it, hoping it would go away, fearing that, if it ever broke, the storm would be too much to bear. But tonight, you don't have to brace. You can simply lie down in the soft grass of your own acceptance and watch it. You are the sky, not the cloud. The cloud is just weather, a temporary phenomenon passing through the vastness of you. Give the cloud permission to be there. Give it whatever shape it needs to take. Perhaps it's heavy and dark. Perhaps it's just a light, wistful mist. You don't need to name every memory or catalog every missed opportunity. That would be like trying to count every drop of rain. Instead, just feel the essence of it. The quiet ache of what if. The sorrow for the younger you who sat so patiently, for so long, waiting for a permission that was never going to come from the outside. Allow yourself to feel it in your body. Where does this grief live? Maybe it's a tightness in your chest, a lump in your throat, a heaviness in your belly. Just breathe into that sensation. Send your breath to that place like a warm, gentle current of compassion. You don't need to make it go away. Your only task is to be with it, to let it know it is seen and that it is allowed. This sadness is not a sign that you've done something wrong. It is a sign of your love for life. You grieve what you value. The depth of your sorrow is a measure of the depth of your desire to live fully. It is a sacred feeling, a testament to the vibrant, passionate spirit within you that has been longing to be expressed. To feel this grief is to honor that spirit. Now, let's work with the breath. Think of this process like releasing a breath you didn't even realize you've been holding for years. We do this physically all the time. We brace for an impact. We hold our breath in a tense situation, and only later, when the danger has passed, do we let it out with a great sigh of relief. You have been holding a kind of psychic breath, a tension in your soul, for the entire time you've been in that waiting room. You've been holding and waiting and bracing. Tonight, we can finally let it go. Let's try it together, gently. Take a slow, comfortable breath in, filling your belly, your ribs, your chest. And as you exhale, make a soft, audible sigh, a sigh of release. Let the sound carry some of the weight out with it. Do it again. A deep, nourishing breath in, and a long, slow, sighing breath out. With this exhale, imagine you are releasing the dust of the waiting room, the stale air, the low, constant hum of anxiety. Imagine you are releasing the need to be perfect, the fear of making a mistake, the belief that your turn would never come. Let it all go on the sound of your breath. One more time. The deepest, most compassionate breath you've taken all day. And as you release it, let go of the story of wasted time. Let go of the self-blame. Let go of the feeling that it's too late. It is not too late. It is exactly the right time. The past has led you to this very moment of awakening. And for that, it was not wasted. It was a necessary part of the path. See the cloud of grief now. As you have watched it, as you have breathed with it, perhaps it has begun to change. Perhaps its edges have softened. Perhaps the gentle rain it held has started to fall, not as a destructive storm, but as a cleansing, nourishing shower upon the landscape of your heart. This is what healing feels like. It's not about never feeling sad. It's about allowing your sadness to move, to flow, to wash through you and water the seeds of what is to come. Every tear, shed or unshed, is cleansing the ground for new growth. This grief is not an ending. It is a preparation. It is the tilling of the soil. You do not need to rush this process. The feelings may come and go in waves. Tonight, you have simply opened the door to them, letting them know they are welcome. By allowing the grief for the experiences you postponed, you are paradoxically freeing yourself to finally have new experiences. You are untethering yourself from a past you cannot change, so that you can be fully present for the future that is waiting for you. The past becomes not a source of regret that weighs you down, but a source of wisdom that informs your journey forward. You know now, in your bones, the preciousness of time. You understand, on a cellular level, what it feels like to hold back. And this deep knowing will be your guide, your compass, ensuring you never again leave yourself waiting for so long. Rest now in this feeling of cleansing. The air in your inner world is clearer. The landscape is fresh and alive after the rain, and a new, quiet sense of peace begins to settle over everything. The waiting is ending, and the living is ready to begin. Now that we have allowed the cleansing rain of grief to wash through us, let's turn our attention to one of the heaviest things we have been carrying in that waiting room. It is the immense, invisible weight of needing to be ready. What does this weight feel like? For a moment, allow yourself to sense it. Imagine you are preparing to go on a long journey, the journey of your own life. But you believe you cannot start until you have packed for every possible contingency. So you begin to pack. First, you pack the suitcase of perfection. Into it, you must put a flawless track record, a complete absence of mistakes, and the approval of everyone you have ever met. It's an impossible task, and the suitcase itself is made of lead. Next, you hoist up the backpack of preparation. It's filled with every book you haven't read, every skill you haven't mastered, every course you haven't taken. With every new thing you learn, the backpack seems to get heavier, not lighter, because you become aware of how much more there is to know. And then, slung over your shoulder, is the duffel bag of self-improvement. It's stuffed with all your perceived flaws, your unhealed wounds, your negative personality traits. You carry it with the belief that you must empty it completely, fix every single item inside before you are worthy of taking the first step. Just imagining this is exhausting, isn't it? The sheer weight of it all is crushing. It's no wonder you've been sitting down. The burden is too heavy to move. This is the weight of being ready. It is an impossible standard, a self-imposed prison of worthiness that has kept you immobile. This belief that you must be perfectly prepared is a profound misunderstanding of what it means to be alive. Life is not a final exam for which you can study and be fully prepared. Life is an improvisational dance. It is a creative process. It is a journey of discovery that unfolds one step at a time. The path is not revealed to you in its entirety before you begin. The path is created by your walking. To demand that you know the whole map, that you have the perfect shoes, and that you are in peak physical condition before you even start is to guarantee that you will never leave the starting line. The travelers who are already out there, the ones whose laughter you hear from the other room, are not the ones who were perfectly prepared. They are the ones who were willing to be messy. They are the ones who were willing to be beginners. They are the ones who packed light, taking only what was essential: a little courage, a lot of curiosity, and the willingness to learn as they go. Tonight, right here, in the sanctuary of this moment, you can give yourself permission to set this weight down. You don't need to do it with force or with anger. You can do it with a sense of profound relief, like a weary traveler at the end of a long, hard day. In your mind's eye, see yourself standing up from your chair in the waiting room. Feel the strain in your shoulders and back from the immense load you've been carrying. One by one, you are going to release these burdens. First, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, gently unbuckle the backpack of preparation. Let it slide from your shoulders and onto the floor. Feel the immediate release of tension. The knowledge you have is enough for the next step. The skills you possess are sufficient for today. You can always learn more on the journey, but you don't need it all now. Acknowledge this truth. Your current knowledge is enough. Now, take another slow, deep breath. And on the exhale, uncinch the duffel bag of self-improvement. Let it drop to the floor beside the backpack. All those flaws, those wounds, those imperfections, they are not disqualifiers. They are part of your humanity. They are the source of your compassion, your empathy, your unique wisdom. You do not need to be a finished product to be worthy of love, connection, and joy. You are worthy right now, exactly as you are. Your imperfections are not a barrier to life. They are the texture of life. Acknowledge this truth. Your current self is enough. Finally, the heaviest of them all, the suitcase of perfection. It's locked, and you've never had the key. But you don't need to open it. You just need to let go of the handle. Take one more deep, liberating breath. And as you exhale, simply open your hand. Let the heavy lead suitcase fall to the floor with a soft, final thud. The need to be perfect, to be flawless, to please everyone. It is not yours to carry. It was never yours. Let it go. The relief is immense. Acknowledge this truth. Your inherent worth is not conditional. It simply is. Stand there for a moment in your imagination, free from these impossible burdens. What does it feel like? Feel the physical and emotional lightness that comes from releasing these impossible standards. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your spine is straight and tall. There is a new sense of space in your chest, an ease in your breath. You can move your arms freely. You can turn your head and look around without strain. You might feel a little strange, a little vulnerable without your familiar burdens. That's okay. Stay with the feeling of lightness. Let it permeate every cell of your body. This lightness is your natural state. This is who you are without the weight of the story that you are not enough. This feeling is not something you have to earn. It is something you simply have to allow by letting go of what is not yours to carry. This act of setting down the weight is not a one-time event. It is a practice. Tomorrow, you might find yourself unconsciously reaching for one of those bags again. It's an old habit. But now, you will be aware of it. You will recognize the feeling of that familiar weight settling on your shoulders, and you will know that you have a choice. You can say, "Ah, there's that old bag again, but I don't need to carry it today." And you can gently set it down again. Each time you do this, the habit will weaken, and your new freedom will grow stronger. For tonight, just rest in this feeling of profound release. There is nothing to pack. There is nothing more to prepare. You are ready now. You have always been ready. All you ever needed to do was set down the weight and realize how light and free you truly are. Standing now in this inner space, feeling so much lighter without the impossible burdens of perfection and preparation, let's turn our gaze to the door. For so long, this door has been the central focus of your waiting. It has seemed immense, solid, imposing. Perhaps you imagined it was made of heavy oak or reinforced steel, with complicated locks and bolts that could only be opened by some great authority. It has been the symbol of the barrier between you and the life you long for. It has represented everything you are not yet worthy of. You have spent countless hours studying it, wondering about it, projecting all your hopes and fears onto it. But now, as you stand here, lighter and more present in yourself, you can look at it with new eyes. Not with the eyes of a hopeful supplicant, but with the eyes of a calm, curious observer. And as you look, a profound, gentle truth begins to dawn. It's a truth so simple and so radical that it might take a moment to fully absorb. The door was never locked. There is no complex mechanism. There is no guard with a key. There is no invisible barrier. All this time, it has been unlocked. All this time, you could have simply reached out, turned the handle, and walked through. Let that sink in. Not as a criticism, not as a reason to feel regret, but as a moment of quiet, breathtaking revelation. The only thing that kept the door closed was your belief that it was locked. The only thing that kept you in the room was the story that you were not allowed to leave. The prison was not the room itself. The prison was a thought, and a thought can be changed. This realization reframes everything. The waiting room, which you have seen as a kind of prison or a purgatory, can now be seen in a different light. It was not a place of punishment. It was a sanctuary. It was a space you created for yourself, a place to retreat to when the world felt too overwhelming and you felt too vulnerable. It was a refuge that kept you safe until you were ready to feel your own strength. Think of it like a chrysalis. The caterpillar dissolves into a seemingly formless state inside this protective shell. From the outside, it looks like a period of inactivity, of waiting. But inside, the most profound transformation is taking place. The chrysalis is not a prison that traps the caterpillar. It is a sacred vessel that allows for its becoming. It is the perfect, safe container for a period of immense change. Your waiting room has been your chrysalis. It has served its purpose beautifully. It has protected you. It has given you the time and space for the deep, inner work you have been doing. But now, the transformation is nearing completion. You are no longer the vulnerable creature that first sought shelter here. You have found your lightness. You have grown your wings. The sanctuary has now served its purpose, and to stay any longer would be to mistake the chrysalis for your permanent home. So, let's stand before this door together without any fear. See it for what it is, a simple wooden door on simple hinges. There's a plain, ordinary handle. Feel the truth settle into your bones. You have always had the power to open it. This isn't about blaming yourself for not opening it sooner. The timing of your own awakening is always perfect. You couldn't have opened it a moment before you were truly ready to understand that it was unlocked. All the waiting, all the preparation, all the grief, and all the release of burdens, all of it was necessary to bring you to this exact moment of clarity. You had to feel the weight of the bags to appreciate the lightness of letting them go. You had to feel the sorrow of waiting to appreciate the joy of stepping forward. You had to believe the door was locked to have this profound revelation that it is not. The journey was flawless. Now let this affirmation sink deep into your subconscious, letting it replace the old story of insufficiency. Let it become the new foundation of your being. The affirmation is this: my worthiness is not a destination to be reached. It is my starting point. Feel the profound shift in that. You are not trying to get to a place of worthiness. You are starting from a place of worthiness. You are not trying to pass a test to prove you are enough. You are beginning your adventure with the absolute, unshakable knowledge that you are already enough. This changes everything. It means you don't have to perform. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to earn your place at the party. Your place has been set from the beginning. Your invitation has been engraved on your very soul. You belong to the world, and the world belongs to you. This is your birthright. As you drift towards sleep, let this feeling of innate worthiness be the lullaby that soothes you. Imagine this truth as a warm, golden light that starts in the center of your chest and slowly expands, filling every cell of your body. It fills your feet, grounding you in your right to be here. It fills your legs, strengthening you for the steps you are now ready to take. It fills your belly, soothing old anxieties. It fills your heart, healing the ache of waiting. It fills your arms and hands, reminding you of your power to reach out and open the door. It fills your throat, giving you permission to speak your truth. And it fills your head, illuminating your mind with this gentle, liberating clarity. You are worthy. You are enough. The door is unlocked. Rest in this transformative peace. There is no rush. The door will be there in the morning, and you will have everything you need to walk through it. Just rest now. You have arrived at the threshold. As you rest in this peaceful awareness, knowing the door is unlocked and your worthiness is your starting point, another old belief begins to dissolve. It is the belief that life is an audition. For so long, you have been living as if you are in a perpetual state of rehearsal. You have been practicing your lines, refining your character, waiting in the wings for the director to finally decide you are ready for the stage. You believed that this waiting room was the backstage area, the place where you had to get everything perfect before the curtain went up. You treated every interaction as a performance, every choice as a test. You were constantly monitoring yourself, judging your delivery, worrying about how you were being perceived by some invisible audience. Am I doing this right? Am I saying the right thing? Am I good enough yet? This constant self-scrutiny is utterly exhausting. It turns life, which is meant to be a fluid and spontaneous experience, into a rigid and high-stakes performance. But the truth we are now embracing dismantles this entire belief system. If your worthiness is your starting point, then you are not auditioning for a part. You have already been cast in the lead role. The play is your life, and it began the moment you were born. There is no rehearsal. This is the real thing. Every moment is opening night. This realization might feel a little daunting at first. No rehearsal, but I'm not ready. I don't know my lines. But it is also incredibly liberating. It means you can stop trying to be perfect and just be present. It means you can stop rehearsing for life and actually start living it. The beautiful truth is that your authentic, imperfect presence is exactly what is needed. The world does not need another polished, flawless actor playing a role they think they should play. The world needs you. It needs your unique combination of strengths and weaknesses, your quirks, your hesitations, your moments of grace, and your moments of clumsiness. It needs your real voice, not a practiced one. It needs your spontaneous laughter, not a scripted reply. Your messy, unpredictable, gloriously human self is the protagonist this story requires. To keep that self hidden backstage while you endlessly rehearse a better version is to rob the world and yourself of the very thing that makes your life meaningful. Let's use a different analogy. Imagine you believed you were an understudy in a grand play. You spent your life memorizing the lead actor's lines, studying their movements, hoping that one day you would get your chance to go on stage. You lived in a state of hopeful preparedness, your own life held in suspension for this potential future moment. Then, one day, you stumble into the director's office and you see a script on the desk. On the cover, it lists the credits, and you see it in bold letters, written by your name, directed by your name, starring your name. In that moment, you realize the entire premise of your life has been wrong. You were never the understudy. You are the writer, the director, and the lead actor of your own story. There is no one to impress, no one to audition for. You are the creative authority. You get to decide what the next scene is about. You get to choose your own lines. You can improvise. You can change the plot. You can even change the set. The power has been in your hands all along. The waiting in the wings was based on a misunderstanding of your own role. It's a profound, paradigm-shifting realization. It moves you from a passive position of waiting to an active position of creating. So, what does this mean in a practical sense as you lie here on the edge of sleep? It means you can let go of the need to have it all figured out. A writer doesn't know the entire book before they write the first sentence. A director discovers the film as they are making it. You don't need a perfect 5-year plan. You just need to be present and engaged with the scene you are in right now. It means you can give yourself permission to make mistakes. An actor trying something new in a scene, something that doesn't quite work, isn't making a mistake. They are exploring. They are discovering the character. Your so-called mistakes are simply you exploring the character of yourself. They are how you learn. They are how the plot moves forward. It means you can stop comparing your performance to anyone else's. You have your own unique script, your own unique stage. Someone else's story might be a loud, dramatic epic. Yours might be a quiet, poetic masterpiece. Both are valid. Both are beautiful. Your only job is to be true to your own story, not to try and act in someone else's play. As you drift deeper into rest, let this new role settle upon you. Feel the shift from being a nervous auditioner to a grounded creative force. You are not waiting for your cue. You are the one who gives the cues. You are not waiting for life to happen to you. You are the creative energy through which life happens. This doesn't have to be a pressure. In fact, it's the opposite. It releases you from the pressure of getting it right according to some external standard. There is no external standard. The only measure of success is how authentically you are inhabiting your own life. Let go of the audience. There is no one out there in the dark judging you. There is only you on your stage, under your lights. And you can give yourself a standing ovation right now, just for being here, just for being willing to step out of the wings and into the center of your own magnificent, unwritten, and beautiful story. Rest in that creative power. It is your essence. It is your truth. Sleep now, not as an understudy waiting for a chance, but as the celebrated star of the show, resting peacefully between acts. Now, as the truth settles in, that you are the writer, director, and star of your own life, it's time for a gentle shift in focus. For so long, your attention has been directed outward. It has been fixed on the door, on the imagined authority on the other side, on the audience you believed you had to please. Your energy has been flowing away from you toward a set of external conditions that you thought you had to meet. But now, we are going to gently turn that attention inward, away from the noise and expectations of the waiting room, and toward the quiet, subtle, and infinitely wise landscape of your own heart. It's a journey of coming home to yourself. Imagine the beam of a flashlight. For years, you have been pointing it at the door, trying to analyze the lock, trying to see who might be coming to open it. Now, with a soft and easy movement, you turn the flashlight around, pointing its gentle beam into your own inner world. At first, it might seem very quiet in here. After the constant hum of anxiety and preparation in the waiting room, the stillness within can feel unfamiliar. You may have neglected this inner space for a long time, and it might take a moment for your senses to adjust. Be patient. Be kind. You are not searching for anything grand or dramatic. You are simply listening. Listening for the quiet whispers of your own desires, the ones you set aside long ago because you thought they were frivolous or selfish, or because you believed you had to earn the right to pursue them. What were they? What did you love to do before you learned you had to be productive? What brought you a sense of simple, uncomplicated joy before you were told you had to achieve something great? Perhaps it was the feeling of soil on your hands as you planted a small garden. Perhaps it was the freedom of dancing in your living room when no one was watching. Maybe it was the quiet focus of drawing, or the simple pleasure of singing along to a favorite song in the car. It doesn't have to be a grand passion or a life purpose. In fact, it's better if it's small. Small joys are the threads that weave the fabric of a happy life. Grand passions can feel like another form of pressure, another thing to get right. But a small, forgotten joy holds no such weight. It is pure, simple, and entirely your own. See if you can reconnect with one of them now. Let a memory float up. Don't force it. Just create a quiet space and see what comes. Maybe you remember the feeling of sitting with a warm cup of tea and a good book on a rainy afternoon, with no agenda, no guilt. Or the feeling of walking in nature, noticing the way the light filters through the leaves. Or the deep satisfaction of fixing something that was broken. Let the memory come alive. Feel the sensations associated with it. The warmth of the mug in your hands, the scent of the damp earth, the click of the tool fitting perfectly into place. This feeling, this is the spark of your own aliveness. This is your life force, independent of any external validation. It doesn't require anyone's permission. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't have to lead to a career or an award. Its entire purpose is the simple, resonant feeling of being authentically you. For too long, you have been asking the outside world, "What do you want from me?" You've been trying to shape yourself into what you thought others wanted you to be. Tonight, you are asking a new question. You are turning to your own heart and asking, very gently, "What do you want? What do you long for?" And you are listening for the quietest of answers. The answer might be a feeling more than a word. It might be a longing for more peace, a longing for more beauty, a longing for more play, a longing for more connection. These are the true directions on your inner compass. The external world can offer you maps, but only your own heart can tell you your true north. This process of reconnecting with your desires can feel vulnerable. The part of you that learned to wait for safety might object. It might say, "But is this practical? Is this productive? What's the point?" And you can gently thank that protective part for its concern, and then lovingly turn your attention back to the quiet whisper of your heart. You can reassure the protector that honoring these small joys is not a reckless act. In fact, it is the most practical thing you can do. These small joys are your fuel. They are what will give you the energy and resilience to navigate the bigger challenges of life. A life built only on duty and obligation, on endless preparation and striving, is a life that will eventually run out of fuel. It is unsustainable. A life nourished by small, authentic moments of joy is a life that is rich, resilient, and deeply fulfilling. As you drift towards sleep, hold the feeling of one of these small, forgotten joys in your heart. Let it be like a warm, glowing ember in the center of your chest. You don't need to make a plan to act on it. You don't need to turn it into a project. For tonight, your only task is to remember it, to feel it, to honor it, to let its warmth spread through you. This is the beginning of a profound shift. You are moving your locus of control from the outside in to the inside out. You are learning to trust the wisdom of your own feelings, the guidance of your own joy. You are coming home to the truth that your own aliveness is the most important authority there is. Let this gentle ember of a forgotten joy be your companion as you fall asleep. It is a reminder that the vibrant, joyful life you have been waiting for is not on the other side of some door. It has been inside you all along, waiting patiently for you to turn your attention toward it and welcome it home. Rest in that warmth. Rest in that knowing. As you rest in the warm, gentle glow of your own remembered joy, let's deepen this journey of homecoming with a powerful visualization. Allow your body to sink further into comfort, your breath to flow with an easy, quiet rhythm. There is nothing for you to do but receive this image, to let it unfold in the theater of your mind. Imagine you are standing in that inner space we have been exploring. You are light, unburdened. The door in front of you stands peacefully, its unlocked nature now a simple known fact. The air is clear. You feel a quiet sense of presence and peace. Now, I want you to slowly, gently bring your awareness to your own hands. In your imagination, just notice them. See their shape, the lines on your palms, the unique pattern of your fingerprints. These hands are a part of you that has served you your entire life. They have held and built and comforted and worked. They are a symbol of your agency in the world, your ability to interact, to create, to connect. Now, as you focus on your dominant hand, the one you write with, imagine a gentle weight beginning to form in the center of your palm. It's a pleasant, solid weight. A warmth begins to spread from it, up your arm and into your chest. As the image becomes clearer, you realize what it is. It is a key. Take a moment to see it. It's not a grand, ornate fairy tale key. It's a simple, sturdy key, perhaps made of old brass or warm, dark iron. It feels ancient and modern at the same time. It has a comfortable, worn smoothness from being held, as if it has been waiting in your possession for a very long time. Feel its solid weight in your hand. This is not a flimsy, fragile thing. It has substance. It is real. This key represents your own authority. It is the physical manifestation of the permission you have been seeking outside of yourself. For so long, you imagined someone else held this key. You pictured a gatekeeper, a parent, a society, an idealized future self, holding it just out of your reach. You spent so much energy trying to be good enough, worthy enough, to have them bestow it upon you. And now, the profound, simple truth lands with the solid weight of this key in your own hand. It has been with you all along. It was never anywhere else. You were born with it. It is an inseparable part of your being, as fundamental as your own heartbeat. Curl your fingers around it. Feel the cool metal warm to the touch of your skin. This key is your own permission. It is your own timing. It is your own validation. It is the sovereign right to be the author of your own life. No one can give it to you, and more importantly, no one can ever take it away from you. You might have forgotten you had it. You might have kept it tucked away in a deep pocket, choosing to wait in the hallway instead. But it was never gone. It was just waiting for you to remember, to reclaim it. The warmth you feel spreading from this key is the warmth of self-trust, of self-acceptance. It is the feeling of your own power returning to you, flowing back into the spaces that were once filled with doubt and waiting. This key doesn't just open the door in front of you. It opens countless doors. It is the key to speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. It is the key to sharing your creative gifts without needing them to be perfect. It is the key to setting boundaries that honor your energy and well-being. It is the key to resting when you are tired, without guilt. It is the key to saying no to what drains you, and a resounding yes to what makes you feel alive. It is the master key to a life of authenticity. Holding it, you realize you don't need to ask, "Am I allowed?" You are the source of the allowing. Now, let this powerful affirmation, the true name of this key, resonate through your entire being. Let it be the truth that you carry into your sleep and into your waking life. The affirmation is this: I am the one I have been waiting for. Say it again, silently, to yourself. I am the one I have been waiting for. Feel the power in those words. The rescuer, the validator, the authority figure. It was always you. You are not waiting for someone to come and choose you. You are the one who chooses. You are not waiting for a hero to save you. You are your own hero. This is not a burden of responsibility. It is a declaration of freedom. It is the end of helplessness. It is the end of giving your power away. It is the beginning of a life lived from a place of centered, quiet, unshakable self-possession. The search is over. The waiting is over. You have arrived. You were here all along, just waiting for yourself to turn your attention inward and claim the power that has always been yours. As you continue to drift deeper and deeper into a state of peaceful rest, keep the feeling of this warm, solid key in your hand. Let it be an anchor. If any old thoughts of doubt or unworthiness arise, you can simply bring your awareness back to the feeling of this key. It is your truth. It is your reality now. The Story of Waiting is a book you have finished reading. You can place it gently on the shelf. A new book begins now, and you are holding the pen. And you hold the key to every single door you wish to explore. Sleep deeply now, grounded in this profound and peaceful strength. You are whole. You are complete. You hold the key. Holding the feeling of this warm, solid key in your hand, grounded in the profound knowledge that you are the one you have been waiting for. Let's take the final, decisive step in this inner journey. The waiting is over. The endless preparation is done. The understanding is complete. Now comes the integration, the moment of deep, quiet declaration. This is not a loud or forceful act. It is a sacred, internal vow, a gentle and yet unshakable alignment of your entire being with this new truth. It is the moment you officially write your own permission slip. In the quiet of your mind, there is no need for grand or complicated language. Simple, heartfelt words have the most power. Let's formulate this permission together, and as I say the words, feel them as your own. Let them resonate in your bones, in your heart, in the very essence of you. Take a gentle breath in, and as you exhale, silently declare, I, and here you can state your own name. In this moment, with love and with clarity, grant myself full and unconditional permission to live. Just pause there for a moment. Permission to live. Not just to exist, not just to survive, not just to get by, but to live. What does that mean to you? It means permission to feel all of your feelings, the joyful and the painful, without judging them as right or wrong. It means permission to take up space in the world, to have needs, and to express them. It means permission to be seen and heard just as you are. Let's continue. Take another breath. I grant myself permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to learn as I go. My worth is not tied to my performance. I release myself from the need to be flawless. Feel the wave of relief that comes with this clause. The pressure valve is released. The impossible standard is dissolved. And again, a soft breath in. I grant myself permission to trust my own timing, to follow the whispers of my own heart, and to honor my own unique path. I no longer need to compare my journey to anyone else's. This is your declaration of sovereignty. Your path is yours alone. Its pace, its detours, its quiet stretches are all sacred and valid. Now, for the final piece, breathe in deeply. Starting now, I grant myself permission to walk through the unlocked doors, to participate fully in my own life, and to welcome the joy, the connection, and the experiences that are waiting for me. The waiting is done. I am free to begin. Let this new internal declaration settle. Imagine these words are not just thoughts, but seeds of light that you are planting in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Feel them taking root, their energy spreading through your entire nervous system, replacing the old, deeply grooved patterns of waiting and hesitation. Imagine this new permission slip, signed by your own soul, being filed away in the archives of your mind, superseding all the old, outdated rules and regulations that were stored there. The old programming that said, wait, be careful, not yet, is being gently overwritten by a new foundational command: live, begin, proceed with joy. Feel this new truth weaving itself into every cell of your body. It is a profound recalibration. Your body, which has been holding the tension of waiting for so long, can finally stand down from high alert. Your muscles can soften. Your heart can beat with a calmer, steadier rhythm. Your digestive system can relax. You are communicating a powerful message of safety and freedom to your entire physical being. The message is, the threat is gone. The long winter of waiting is over. The spring has arrived. It is safe to emerge. It is safe to grow. It is safe to blossom. This isn't just a mental exercise. It is a physiological shift. You are repatterning your body's response to life, moving from a state of chronic defense and suspension to a state of open, relaxed engagement. Think about how your life might begin to change, subtly at first, as this new permission settles in. Perhaps tomorrow, you will speak up in a meeting when you normally would have stayed silent. Perhaps you will wear that bright color you love, but always thought was too bold. Maybe you will take 10 minutes to sit in the sun and do nothing without an ounce of guilt. Maybe you will finally make that phone call you've been putting off, not because you have to, but because you are no longer afraid of the outcome. These are not monumental acts. They are small, quiet revolutions. They are the evidence that you have stopped auditioning for your life and have started to live it. The life on the other side of the door was never about grand, dramatic events. It was always about these small moments of authentic presence and joyful participation. The beautiful truth is that your life does not require external authorization. It never did. The whole system of seeking permission was a construct, a story you learned. And now, you have written a new story. A story where you are the protagonist and the authority. A story where your birth certificate was your first and only permission slip. As you drift on the edge of sleep, allow this new story to be the last thing on your mind. Let it be the narrative that your brain consolidates and integrates as you rest. Sleep is a powerful time of subconscious programming. Tonight, you are not just resting your body. You are deeply programming your mind for freedom. You are weaving this truth so deeply into the fabric of your being that when you wake up, it will simply be your new reality. You won't have to try to be free. You will simply be free. Rest now in the profound peace of this self-creation. The old laws have been repealed. A new, gentle, and loving law has taken their place. And it is the law of your own joyous liberation. As this deep and final declaration settles into your being, a profound sense of peace begins to descend. The active part of our journey tonight is complete. The awareness has been cultivated, the grief has been felt, the burdens have been released, and the permission has been granted. Now, there is nothing left to do, nothing to figure out, nothing to strive for. The only task that remains is to rest in the quiet, peaceful aftermath of this profound transformation. It is time to shift from the work of change to the deep, healing relaxation that will seal it in. In your mind's eye, see yourself turning away from that door. You no longer need to look at it, to think about it, to wonder about it. Your focus is no longer on the threshold between waiting and living. You are simply present, at ease, in your own being. With a sense of quiet completion, you can begin to walk away from that old room for good. You don't need to slam the door. You don't need to make a dramatic exit. You can simply turn, and with a gentle, peaceful heart, walk away. Each step you take is effortless. The floor beneath your feet feels solid, supportive. The air around you is fresh and clear. Imagine you are walking down a quiet, peaceful hallway, away from the old space of waiting. With every step, the the memory of that room becomes fainter, less significant. It was a place you once were, a chapter in your story, but it is not who you are now. It no longer has any claim on you. Feel the gentle, quiet relief of this departure. It's the feeling of finishing the last page of a long and difficult book. It's the feeling of arriving home after a long and arduous journey. It's a sense of resolution, of a circle being completed. There is no lingering doubt, no second guessing. There is only a clean, peaceful sense of moving on. The story of the waiting room is finished. You know how it ends. It ends with you walking away, free. As you continue your gentle walk, you notice that the hallway begins to open up into a beautiful, serene garden. It is twilight here. The light is soft and forgiving, a gentle wash of lavender and rose. The air is filled with the sweet, subtle fragrance of night-blooming flowers. The only sound is the peaceful chirping of crickets and the soft rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. This garden represents the state of your mind now, peaceful, open, and fertile. This is the space you have created by letting go of the old struggle. Find a comfortable place to rest here. Perhaps there is a soft patch of moss under a wise old tree, or a smooth, warm stone near a gently murmuring stream. Allow yourself to lie down, to be fully supported by the earth. Feel the coolness of the grass, the solidity of the ground beneath you. You are safe. You are held. You are at peace. Now, let's plant one final seed. This is a seed of peaceful anticipation for the morning, for the life that is to come. In your hand, you find a single, small, luminous seed. It glows with a soft, golden light. This seed represents the new way of being that you have chosen tonight. It contains the code for living without waiting, for acting from a place of worthiness, for trusting your own heart. Gently, you press this seed into the soft earth of your inner garden. You cover it with soil, and you know that the deep, restorative power of your sleep will be like a gentle rain, watering this seed, helping it to germinate, to send down roots, and to prepare for its growth. You don't need to force it to grow. You don't need to stand over it and worry. You have planted it in fertile ground, and you can trust the natural process. Your only job now is to rest and allow the magic to happen. When you awaken in the morning, you will not have to remember all the steps of this journey. You will not have to try to be different. The seed will have already begun to sprout. You will simply wake up, and the freedom will be there, woven into the fabric of your breath, your thoughts, your choices. The anticipation you feel is not an anxious, striving energy. It is a quiet, joyful curiosity, a gentle wonder. You can be curious about how this new freedom will express itself through you tomorrow. What small, new choice will you make? What old hesitation will simply not be there? What quiet joy will you allow yourself to experience? You can look forward to the morning not as another day to get through, but as the first day of a new, more authentic life. A life where you are an active, joyful participant, not a passive spectator. Let this peaceful, curious anticipation be your final waking thought. The struggle is over. The decision has been made. The seed is planted. Now all that is needed is the profound, healing alchemy of sleep. Allow yourself to surrender completely to it. Let it be the gentle blanket that covers your newly planted garden. Let it be the quiet, sacred time when your mind, body, and soul fully integrate the freedom you have claimed. Your sleep tonight is not an escape. It is a vital part of your transformation. It is the final, most important step. Rest now. Rest in the peace of your beautiful inner garden, knowing that when you wake, a new world of possibility will be waiting for you. A world you will enter not as a visitor, but as one who truly belongs. Here in this peaceful twilight garden, the time for thinking is now over. The time for doing is done. The waiting is finally, truly over. And now, a deep and final letting go can occur. Feel your body softening completely, surrendering its weight to the surface beneath you. Imagine every muscle fiber, one by one, releasing its grip. Begin with the small muscles around your eyes. Let them go. Allow the muscles in your jaw to unclench, letting your teeth part slightly. Feel a wave of relaxation flow down your neck and into your shoulders, releasing all the tension you've held there for so long. The tension of holding back, of carrying those heavy bags. That weight is gone now. Let your shoulders sink, heavy and relaxed. Allow this wave of softness to move down your arms, through your elbows, into your wrists, and all the way to the very tips of your fingers. Your hands, which held the key of your own authority, can now rest, open, and at peace. Bring your awareness to your chest and your belly. Let your breath deepen, becoming slower, calmer, more rhythmic. With each exhale, feel your torso softening, releasing any remaining tightness around your heart, any old knots of anxiety in your stomach. The waiting is over. Your body can come out of its state of alert preparedness. It can finally stand down. It is safe to be completely at ease. Feel this deep relaxation flowing down into your hips, your pelvis, the base of your being. Let go of all the tension here, the deep holding that comes from bracing against life. Now, let the wave of release travel down through your legs, melting through your thighs, your knees, your calves. Feel all the strength in your legs, the strength that will carry you forward into your new life, now completely at rest. Finally, feel this softness reach your ankles, your feet, your toes. Your feet, which will walk you through so many unlocked doors, can be still now. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, your entire body is now invited into a state of profound, deep rest. The kind of rest that comes only when a long and difficult struggle has finally reached its peaceful conclusion. And as your body softens, allow your mind to release all effort. For so long, your mind has been working so hard, planning, preparing, worrying, rehearsing. It has been trying to figure out the puzzle of how to be ready, but the puzzle has been solved. And the answer was simpler than you ever imagined. The waiting was the only thing in the way. And now that it is over, your mind can rest too. If thoughts arise, as they naturally will, see them as gentle clouds drifting through the vast, peaceful sky of your awareness. You don't need to follow them, analyze them, or push them away. You can simply let them drift by, returning your focus again and again to the simple physical sensation of your breath. Your breath is now a lullaby of freedom and self-acceptance. Feel its gentle, steady rhythm, in and out, a quiet rise and a soft fall. This rhythm has been with you your entire life, a faithful, constant companion. Tonight, it is the sound of your own liberation. Each inhale is a quiet affirmation, I am here. Each exhale is a gentle release. The wait is over. There is nothing more to figure out tonight. There are no more problems to solve, no more strategies to devise. You have given your mind, your body, and your soul the greatest gift, the gift of resolution. the gift of peace. You can lay down the burden of self-improvement for the night. You don't need to fix anything. You don't need to heal anything more right now. The healing is happening on its own in this deep state of rest. Just like your body knows how to heal a cut or mend a bone without your conscious effort, your psyche knows how to integrate this new freedom while you sleep. You can trust this process completely. You have done the work. You have walked yourself out of the waiting room. You have planted the seed of your new life. Now, you get to experience the profound grace of surrender. Surrender to the quiet. Surrender to the softness. Surrender to the gentle pull of sleep. Reassure any part of you that still feels a little anxious or uncertain. You can whisper to it, "It's okay. There is nothing more to figure out tonight. Just rest. Just be." This is the deep rest of the free. It is a quality of sleep that is different from the sleep of one who is still waiting, still striving. It is a sleep that is not an escape from an unlived life, but a deep, nourishing replenishment for a life that is about to be lived more fully than ever before. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath be the only thing that exists. It is the anchor in the peaceful ocean of this moment. With every breath, you are drifting further and further away from the old shore of waiting, and closer to the new shore of your own authentic life. There is nothing but peace here, nothing but stillness, nothing but the gentle, rhythmic reassurance of your own breathing, whispering to you, all is well, you are free. Rest now, rest deeply. The work is done. The peace is here. Just let go. As the last edges of wakefulness begin to blur, you find yourself drifting on a quiet, peaceful current. The garden of your mind is bathed in the soft, silvery light of a gentle moon. All the details are fading now, leaving only a feeling of spaciousness, of peace, of a quiet, settled wholeness. This is the threshold of sleep, a sacred space between worlds, where the conscious mind hands its wisdom over to the deeper, silent knowing of the soul. Here, on this gentle tide, we can float with a few final, quiet thoughts, not as problems to be solved, but as feathers drifting on the breeze. Isn't it a strange and beautiful paradox of being human? That the greatest prisons are the ones we build for ourselves, out of a deep and loving desire to stay safe, and that the keys to these prisons are not forged in fire or won in a great battle, but are simply found quietly in our own hands the moment we stop searching for them everywhere else. What if all of our struggles for worthiness, all our striving and preparing, are like a fish swimming frantically in the ocean, desperately searching for water? What if the thing we are seeking is not a destination to be reached, but the very medium in which we already exist? We are already worthy. We are already in the ocean of life. The only task is to stop struggling, to relax, and to realize where we are, to breathe it in. Consider the nature of a beginning. We often imagine a beginning as a loud, dramatic event, a starting gun, a grand opening, a fireworks display. But more often, true beginnings are silent. They are a subtle shift in the light, a quiet turning of the tide, the slow, imperceptible cracking of a seed shell deep beneath the earth. The beginning you have initiated tonight is of this quiet, organic kind. It is not an act of force, but an act of allowance. You have not broken down the door. You have simply realized it was never locked. You have not fought a battle. You have simply laid down your arms. This is the most powerful kind of change. The kind that happens not through struggle, but through a profound shift in perception. It is a homecoming, a remembering of a truth that has always been present within you. And what of time? We grieve the time we believe we have wasted, the years spent in the waiting room. But what if time is not a straight line to be traveled efficiently from one point to another? What if it is more like a spiral, where we continually circle back to the same core themes of our lives, but each time from a higher level of understanding? Perhaps the time you spent waiting was not a deviation from your path, but an essential part of its curve. It was the part of the spiral where you gathered the wisdom, the patience, and the deep, heartfelt longing that will make the next turn of your journey so much richer and more meaningful. Perhaps, in the grand, mysterious economy of the soul, no time is ever truly wasted. Every moment, even the most painful or stagnant, is somehow gathered up and woven into the tapestry of who you are becoming. Let these questions drift, unanswered. They are not for your waking mind to solve. They are for your dreaming mind to hold, like smooth, mysterious stones. Let them sink into the deep well of your being, where they can mingle with your own innate wisdom. The story is shifting from "When will my life begin?" to "What beauty will I create with the life that is already here?" It's a gentler, more creative, and infinitely more joyful question. It assumes your worthiness. It assumes your power. It assumes your freedom. Sleep is coming now, like a gentle tide, rising softly to meet you. Imagine it washing over your feet, your ankles, cool and soothing. This tide is not here to pull you under, but to lift you, to hold you, to carry you into a state of deep cellular rest. It is washing away the last remnants of the old story, the dust of the waiting room, the echoes of old fears, the ghosts of invisible authorities. Let it all be washed clean. Let it all be carried away into the vast, forgiving ocean of the night. What remains is you, pure, present, and free. Sleep now and awaken to the life that has been patiently waiting for you all along. Rest deeply. You are free.